How's it going, everyone? It's Harvey from Weather Sponge 1000, and in this video, I'm going to forecast a severe thunderstorm frequency for each area of the United States. We're going to answer if whether or not you're going to experience more severe thunderstorms than usual or less severe thunderstorms than usual in the United States. But before I begin, make sure to subscribe if you want to see more weather-related content. Make sure to like if you like this video, and make sure to turn on post notifications if you want to see even more weather-related content. So to begin, here's my forecast regarding the severe thunderstorm frequency for each area of the United States. Keep in mind that these are the amount of severe thunderstorms I'm expecting within a 100-mile radius of each area. So if you're within any sort of, if you're within a certain color, then expect that amount of thunderstorms over a 100-mile radius within your area. So as you can see, of course, I'm expecting more thunderstorms to occur just east of the Rocky Mountain ranges, where of course we do see a little bit more instability further eastward. We do have the Pacific Ocean a little bit too far to the west to really moderate the temperatures and stabilize the atmosphere further eastward. So as a result, more of the thunderstorms of course will occur further eastward, and the area where I'm expecting the most severe thunderstorms will be in the southeast, because of course there's that perfect convergence of just enough humidity and just enough cold air just to the northwest of the southeast, where of course we do see very cool winds from the leeward side of the Rocky Mountains, which definitely creates a very unstable environment for the southeast. Now you're probably wondering, why don't we see as much severe weather in the Midwest? Because that's really the area where we do see more severe weather. Well, I'll answer that question in this video, along with many more regarding why I'm expecting this frequency of severe weather for each area of the United States. So if I were to move forward, I'm pretty much basing my forecast on this, which is pretty much the frequency of the number of the severe thunderstorms we experience in each area of the United States where the National Weather Service issues advisories. And it typically in a lot of these areas, it's the National Weather Service issues warnings within a 100-mile radius or around that range when it comes to issuing warnings. So based on this, we could give a good estimation of how many severe thunderstorms we could expect in each area. And you see that over the past 10 years, you see that the area that gets frequently hit by severe thunderstorms the most is Oklahoma and the extreme northern portion of Texas, where of course the amount of instability is the highest in that area. But we also do see a large area of the Midwest experience over 2,000 severe thunderstorm warnings within the past 10 years. And we even see a decent amount of severe weather occur just to the east of the Appalachian mountain ranges, because we do see a little bit of instability as the winds move over the Appalachian mountain ranges and cools down and creates just enough of an unstable environment just to the east of the Appalachian mountain ranges. So no surprise there. And however, for the West Coast, of course, we do see a lot less severe thunderstorms, mainly because the Pacific Ocean is typically cool all year round, and the air temperature on top of the Pacific Ocean, it just isn't warm enough to really hold a lot of water vapor and to create a very buoyant environment for air molecules and the water vapor to rise for a lot of severe thunderstorms to occur further westward. So as always, we typically see the most thunderstorms right around the Midwest. However, despite the fact that we do see the most thunderstorms in Oklahoma, I'm not expecting as many this year, and I'm gonna show you why, like I said earlier. Now, there are going to be several factors we're going to need to keep in mind that will definitely determine the amount of thunderstorms you should expect for 2022. If I were to show you guys, so here is the ENSO outlook over the next several months. You see that for pretty much we're most likely going to experience a La Nina, where we do have a 50 to 55% chance of a La Nina extending throughout the months, the summer months, and extending into the early fall months as well, where the most likely scenario is that we will experience a La Nina, and that plays a big role in severe weather, believe it or not. It just doesn't impact the winter season or the hurricane season. It also plays a role in determining how much severe thunderstorms you should expect for each area of the United States. Because if I were to show you guys the La Nina influence on severe weather, you see that typically during a La Nina, we see tornadoes more frequent, which means that, of course, severe weather will be more frequent. And keep in mind, I'm gonna make my tornado outlook video probably tomorrow, or at least within the next couple of days. So make sure to stay tuned for that, because that's gonna be another interesting video. But to really show you guys how the La Nina influences severe weather, you see that hailstorms are far more likely and tornadoes are far more likely, at least somewhere in the south central United States, and extending further eastward as well, closer to the East Coast. And the only areas where severe thunderstorms are less frequent during a La Nina is closer to the West Coast, where we do see hailstorms for less frequent, as well as tornadoes less frequent. But anywhere else in the United States, especially in the Midwest, we do see a higher frequency of tornadoes, hailstorms, and as well a higher frequency of severe weather overall. So that's something to keep in mind when making this forecast. Now, another thing we need to take a look at is what typically happens during a La Nina. So what typically happens during a La Nina is that we see a very pronounced jet stream dip. We see cooler air move further southward, and we see a more moist environment for the Pacific Northwest as well as the Ohio River Valley. And what a pronounced jet stream dip like this does is it creates a more unstable environment, because of course we do see more cold air move further southward, and that cold air is very dense. It's going to want to move into the more warmer and buoyant air mass that's located in the southeast, where of course temperatures are warmer. The Gulf of Mexico sea surf temperatures are gonna warm up the air temperature, so as a result that creates a very unstable environment right around southeast once we see that cold air interact with that warm air. So as a result, that's one of the primary reasons why we see more severe weather during a La Nina. We just see a more pronounced jet stream dip compared to an El Nino, where the jet stream is a little bit too far north to really create enough of an unstable environment for the United States. So this is definitely something to consider when forecasting the amount of severe thunderstorms we should expect for each area of the United States. But another thing that I think is more important to consider is the drought monitor. And if you haven't seen the reason why I'm choosing Oklahoma and the Midwest in general to experience less severe thunderstorms this year, you're gonna see why now, because look at the drought monitor for the western half of the United States. You see that you guys are under a severe drought, and of course during a drought there isn't a lot of rainfall or precipitation in general, so there's going to be less thunderstorm activity, which means less severe thunderstorms impacting the Midwest. Because of course typically during a drought there's pretty much in all droughts there's not a lot of moisture on the surface, so there's less water for the atmosphere to hold in general, which means less convection and as a result less thunderstorm activity. And you see this extends as far east as almost Kansas City, Missouri, where we do see the drought extend fairly far eastward, where a lot of Dallas and Oklahoma and Kansas is getting involved. So as a result of this, I think the amount of severe thunderstorms should be limited for the Midwest as a result of how severe this drought is. While if we were to compare that to the eastern half of the United States, you see that there's a little bit less of a drought. There isn't really much of a drought at all. If we really look at the east coast of the United States, we do have some areas like North Carolina and portions of the mid-Atlantic, but they're far from being considered severe droughts, so it won't play a major role in terms of the amount of severe thunderstorms you experience this during 2022. So that's something to be aware of as well. And another thing I want to show you is that a couple days ago I made my summer forecast, and I could go in detail why I'm forecasting this for the summer, but but this video would be far too long. So if you want to check out the more in detail reasons why I'm expecting a more, let's say, moist environment for the eastern half of the United States, then check out my summer video that I made a couple days ago. But to make long story short, the sea surface temperatures are going to be warmer than average, which means that not only more moisture in the atmosphere, but more tropical cyclones could make landfall, which could maybe induce a little bit more severe weather along the East Coast. And also the climatology models, such as the CFS model, is forecasting the eastern half of the United States to be a little bit more moist. And so as a result of this, I do expect a little bit more severe thunderstorms to occur further eastward, thanks to a more warmer and moist environment, which could create a more unstable environment overall for the eastern half of the United States. And of course, like I showed you, the drought is gonna make conditions very warm, much warmer and drier than average for not only the western half of the United States, but the Midwest as well. So severe thunderstorms should be less likely and less frequent for the year of 2022 overall, especially since the summer months pretty much the summer months are the most frequent months where you do experience severe weather. So that's something to keep in mind when making this forecast regarding how frequent severe thunderstorms should be. So as a result, I came to this conclusion regarding the amount of severe thunderstorms you should experience in each area of the United States. Take a more in detail look for each region. For the Northeast, I'm expecting right around 50 to 100 thunderstorms to 100 to 150 thunderstorms, at least more focused in on New England and upstate New York. Typically, you guys don't experience as many severe thunderstorms because you guys are very far up north. So typically, temperatures warm enough don't really go that far up north, especially since it's moderated by the Atlantic Ocean, which typically it's very difficult for the sea surface temperatures just off of New England to go over 75 degrees even during the warmest of the summer months. So that definitely moderates the severe weather quite a bit throughout the New England coast. So as well, that severe weather should be expected for New England in general, but I'm expecting a little bit more severe weather than usual pretty much anywhere that's east of Shreveport, Louisiana. This is where I'm expecting more severe weather than usual as a result of a more moist environment. And also, we're expecting a La Nina, which typically does bring more jet stream dips and as a result, a more unstable environment for the United States. And since a heavy drought is going on right around the western half of the United States, there's so much sinking air that there's got to be an area where there's got to be an equal amount of an upward motion in the atmosphere. And I expect that area to be in the eastern half of the United States to encourage more severe thunderstorms to occur. So that's going to be something to keep in mind. Anywhere east of Shreveport, Louisiana, more severe thunderstorms are expected, where I'm expecting 500 severe thunderstorm warnings to be issued within a 100-mile radius, and right around 200 to 300 in these areas as well. I'm expecting around 150 to 200 right around Chicago. Again, the Great Lakes do definitely moderate the amount of severe thunderstorms you experience in any given year, thanks to how cool the sea surface temperatures of the or not necessarily the sea surface temperatures, because we're talking about the lakes, but based on how cool the lake temperatures, the lake water temperatures are, which definitely does help moderate the severe thunderstorms a little bit, because there just isn't enough convective available potential energy if the air temperature is so cold as a result of the lake water temperature. So as a result, that thunderstorm should be expected there. And typically during a given year, you should experience close to 500 thunderstorms in the Midwest. I'm expecting less than that. I'm expecting 200, 300 because, like I said, a heavy drought is going on. And I'm expecting even less for the western half of the United States, right around 10 to 25 and less than 10 along the Pacific coast, because it's not only that the Pacific coast is experiencing a heavy drought at this time, the sea surface temperatures off the Pacific Ocean are cooler than average. So any chance that there is for a severe thunderstorm to develop will diminish as a result of the cooler than average sea surface temperatures just off the west coast. So I do expect less severe thunderstorms to develop as a result But yeah, guys, if you want even more in-depth forecast regarding the severe thunderstorm frequency you should expect this year, within 100-mile radius of your location, just make sure to comment down below your area or location, and I'll make sure to give you guys a more in-depth forecast regarding the amount of severe thunderstorms you should expect in each area of the United States. But before I begin, but anyways, guys, thank you guys for watching. Make sure to subscribe if you want to see more weather-related content. Make sure to like if you like this video, and make sure to turn on post notifications if you want to see even more weather-related content. And I hope you guys all have a great day.